Welcome to head coach Jeremy Pruitt's Monday press conference. Coach starts off with a quick opening statement. Please raise your hands for questions.
You know, when you look at Georgia, it's probably the best Georgia team that I can ever remember at this point in time in the season. Very complete on both sides of the ball in the kicking game. You know, you start offensively, it starts with Jake Fromm. To me, he does as good a job as anybody in the country, and maybe as anybody as I've ever coached against, as far as keeping their offense in positive situations. He takes care of the football, gets the ball out of his hand, controls the protection, keeps them in positive run plays. You look at their guys up front; they've got 6 or 7 guys who play up front. Very talented, big men. Running back, Swift is as good as anybody in the country. Guy can make you miss, catch a ball out of the backfield, got home run ability. Brian Herron is another guy that's played a lot of football there. Probably tight end, Charlie Warner. He's played the last 3 years, a really good football player. Wide receiver, they've had to replace a lot of guys, but they've replaced them with a couple of transfers and some guys that they've kind of grown in their program there that are, big, tall, athletic, and can create explosive plays. They run the football very efficiently. They're balanced. So you got to be able to stop the run, got to get off the field on third down, got to find a way to create some turnovers. They've done an excellent job protecting the quarterback. Defensively, to me, they've added several pass rushers, in this pass signing class that you see out there, but got lots of depth up front. They're big, physical. Done a nice job stopping the run. Hadn't allowed a rushing touchdown this season. Creating much more negative plays probably than they have in the past. And had a few injuries in the secondary, but they have depth back there and have done a really nice job. So you look at them in the kicking game. Rodrigo seems like he's been playing there for 10 years. They got good returners. They got good speed on coverage teams. So it'll be a challenge for our football team.
Steve.
You said last week we're going to equal reps to all your scholarship quarterbacks. Just what's the state of that competition at this point? You decided on a starter, and what's the possibility of maybe playing multiple guys in that spot?
Steve, we're not going to give Georgia a scouting report of what we're going to do this week. So we're going to rep the guys that we feel like gives us the best opportunity to have success.
Corey, and then Patrick in the back.
Coach, when you have an offensive coordinator like Jim Chaney who's so fresh in from Georgia, how do you balance using his knowledge of that and then going against the knowledge that Georgia may have of him?
It probably works both ways. You're right. With our staffs, we've all coached together over the years. So whether it's offensively or defensively, we probably know some of the checks that each team's accustomed to. But at the end of the day, it comes down to blocking, tackling, executing, taking care of the football. We're familiar with them. They're familiar with us. So it'll be about the details and intangibles of the plays.
Patrick.
Jeremy, you and Kirby have obviously coached together back here, way in the back. You and Kirby have obviously coached together in the past for a while. Pretty similar in what you do on defense, but what sets you apart on defense? What's different between you and Kirby in terms of defensive scheme and defensive philosophy?
I don't think there's a whole lot difference in what either one of us do. If you looked how we play the last couple of years, it's probably changed a little bit. Kirby's probably been more of a 3-4 guy, and we've probably been more of a 4-2-5. I think a lot of that has to do with personnel. You as a football coach, and both of us, we have lots of things that we can do in our systems. So you figure out what's best for your personnel, and you look at them this year. They've added a lot of different wrinkles that I've not seen them do in the past. So which makes sense. He's in his 4th year in this program. He's got guys that have a lot of experience. They're playing a lot of guys on defense and trying to create roles for the guys. So you see that with the different packages of people that come in there.
Blake, then Rob and David.
Jeremy, how do you think Kirby was able to maybe so quickly establish Georgia into what it's become under him? And beyond scheme, is there anything maybe you try to emulate from what he does?
Well, I think the program that he took over won 20 games the previous 2 years. That helped. He had a very young football team that he inherited, and he's done a very nice job. He's put a really good staff together. It's a place that you can have success. Those guys were used to winning, and now he's kind of recruited in his 4th year. All those guys that he has there, he's recruited in there, and they've done a nice job evaluating talent and going getting some of the best players in the country and coaching them up. They're in this day and time, you need to be good at the quarterback position, and he's got a really good player there. Last year they had 2 really good players there. So they've got playmakers on the outside. They're big up front. He kind of recruited to the philosophy, and you can see it.
Robin and David.
Coach, I'm sure it's always beneficial to have a bye week at this point in the season. Do you think it's even more so for your team this year because you're playing so many freshmen? Gives the young guys a chance to take a step back after 4 games and kind of see where they are?
Yeah, we worked really hard this past week. Got guys that are becoming more familiar with the positions that they're playing. It was good for us. It's not just our young guys, our older guys too. We've got lots of guys that's not played a whole lot of football, and to improve, try to master your position. That's something that we worked hard on this week.
David, right here.
Jeremy, why were you kind of emotional after the Georgia game last year?
Well, it was the first time that I felt like that we had competed, like you're supposed to. You go back and look at that game, there's a point in that game, it's 24-12, and we had an opportunity on third and 4 to get off the field. Didn't. I guess you had to know where we were at when we got here, right? To take a football team that was one of the best teams in the country and compete with them to the 4th quarter, One thing about me, I'm an emotional guy. I got in this business to be a positive influence on our players. It's something that I've always loved doing, so when guys strain and compete, it's what you want them to do. So, and we've got to do that this week. To me, they're much improved over where they were this time last year. They're older, so, and you can see that.
Patrick Brown and then Jesse.
Jeremy, linebacker had a couple guys leave last week. Where's your depth there, and what did you see last week out of guys like Banks and JJ and some of the other guys there?
Well, Jeremy Banks is, continuing to get better. Unfortunately, Thursday before we played Florida, he turned his ankle really bad and struggled on that Saturday trying to be able to compete. So we didn't play him in the game. So, you got Daniel, you got Henry, you got Jeremy, you got JJ. Aaron Beasley is working there. So we've got guys that are competing really hard every day in practice.
Jesse.
Jeremy, you noted preseason or towards the end of fall camp that kind of at this point, 4 or 5 weeks into the season, some guys kind of start to define their roles. Maybe they weren't quite ready week 1, week 2. During the bye week, did you kind of see anybody, various groups of positions, that maybe say, hey, in the next couple of weeks, they kind of look like they may have some elevated roles on this football team?
Well, it was good for Jarrett Means, a guy that, started off as a defensive back. He worked the whole summer until maybe July playing wide receiver and then worked defensive back. So it was good for him to get back and catch some balls there. Ramel Keaton, also Cedric Tillman, some guys there. Princeton Fance, a guy that has kind of bounced around, but we've kind of put him at tight end to leave him there. So that's another guy. So all of our young guys, continue to improve. There's a lot to learn about being a good football player. First of all, you got to learn what you need to do to have success. But the other thing is, and probably the most important thing, is figuring out what the other team's trying to do to you. So, it's a lot to learn, and these guys have worked hard to do that, and you'll see guys probably their roles increase as the season goes.
Austin, right here, and then Eric.
Coach, still in the Chattanooga game, you talked about seeing something in Ty's field with his aggressiveness. As he continued to, take a step in the right direction, what did you see out of him last week during the bye?
Tice is a guy that is a runner. He's a hitter. He's got really good ball skills, can play man-to-man. He's a guy that he was here during the spring, but he had injured his foot his senior year of high school, so he had foot surgery, so he missed the entire spring. And so he gets here this summer, and we put him at corner. We get to fall camp, we move him to safety just to work him inside, and so that's a lot to learn in a short period of time. But he's a guy that has a bright future, works really hard every day, so he just got to continue to go out there and compete and have a better understanding of what we're trying to get done.
Eric, and then Brent.
Coach, how would you evaluate your coaching staff so far 4 games into the season, and specifically Chris Winkie, his first year coaching quarterbacks after spending time with the running coach?
The biggest evaluation is your record. So we're 1-3. That's what matters the most. So we've obviously, as the entire coaching staff, got to continue to improve. We got to get our guys to play at a higher level. Big thing is offensively, we got to take care of the football. We've had 9 turnovers in 4 games. We when going into the season, we said that we need to take care of the football. We need to be opportunistic on defense, and we need to stay healthy. And we've not been able to do any of those 3 things. 2 of them we can control. So we've got to take care of the football and get some more turnovers. But as a coaching staff, we all need to do a better job.
Brent, and then Corey.
Coach, you mentioned that Curtis Smart inherited the program that you had. I think last week you talked about making sure guys were comfortable with the using. How do you teach a team in the program how to win?
Creating the right habits every day. You look at, I had an opportunity just to watch some games on Saturday. It's to start with, the first thing I talked about there is just the ball. It's amazing the team that doesn't turn the ball over, how much their percentages go up, have an opportunity to win. Teams that get a lot of turnovers, same thing. But it's just creating the right habits and the details and being able to do it over and over and over, whether you're playing at home, whether you're playing away, whether you're a little bit sore, you're a little bit tired, maybe you're a little bit hurt. And creating depth and having a team that can do it. So if one guy goes down, the next guy can come in and play winning football. To me, that's what you see the teams that are playing the best in college football right now. That's what they're doing. And if you look in the next 25 years, the teams that are doing it the best will be playing winning football then too. I don't think that's changed over the years. I think that's what you have to do to have success.
Corey, then Wes, and Caleb.
Jeremy, I know Marquez Callaway hasn't really had an impact this season. I think would have liked to have had. Do you have any specific plans to try to get him going? And I was wondering if you heard Georgia fans are trying to check their Leland red and black, just a reaction to that.
Talking about Marquez Callaway, we have some really good wide receivers. Seems like Jawan has had more, targets maybe than some of the other ones, but we've got to be able to get the ball to our playmakers. That's something that we really tried to focus on during the off week. Not that we haven't before, just trying to make sure that we can get some of these guys some touches. And I have a hard time believing that what that other question you asked me would happen.
Final question, Wes.
Jeremy, regardless of what y'all do at quarterback this week, how would you sort of describe Jared's confidence level right now? Or is he still coming in kind of looking like the same guy every day, or y'all having to work with him on some stuff?
He had a really good practice last week, which is, that's not unusual. He's practiced really well spring and fall camp. I think the big thing with Jared is taking it to the game, being consistent, creating the right habits. So that's something that he's got to improve on, and taking care of the football. It's the number one goal.
Thank you, Coach.